This video corresponds with section 5B.3. This video will teach you not only how to find the altitude of a triangle, but it will also teach you how to construct all three altitudes at the same time, find where they intersect, so you can locate what we call the orthocenter. Now you'll notice on page 5 of your note packet, you'll see 3 different examples where you'll have to find and locate the orthocenter. This is because with this type of specific point, this can occur in all 3 locations, meaning inside the triangle, outside the triangle, and directly on the triangle itself. And that is something you learned about with altitudes occurring in Unit 5A. Now, if you refer back to the video on how to create a perpendicular line with some random point, we're going to use those steps to figure out how to find not only the altitudes, but then figure out where they cross, get that orthocenter point. So we're going to take a look here through the first example here at the top of page 5 of your note packet. Now, before we go ahead and do this, if you recall from the perpendicular video, there was a line given to you in a point. We extended the line. Even though there's a triangle drawn for you, what you may want to do because of how the triangles are constructed and given the space that you have, you may want to take your straight edge and extend all 3 sides. The reason being is when you have to put in your arcs, you need to make sure everything fits really nicely. So in most of these cases, the triangles may not be big enough. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line. And again, you want to do this as accurately as you can through all 3 sides. So we're going to go ahead and give that a second shot. I'm actually going to turn this around here. There we go. Then we'll do that from side CB as well. And then do the same thing from AC. And again, the reason that we're going to do this is because, as you may recall from finding the perpendicular lines, our arcs ended up being a little bit bigger than maybe the shape or the line allows us. This will allow us to have some good points of reference here so we can actually construct our altitudes. So we're going to go ahead and make 3 perpendicular lines referencing a random point. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the perspective of point A. My line that we want to be perpendicular to will be across from it, CB. So we're going to go ahead, put our compass on point A. Now remember, we're trying to make a perpendicular line, so we need an arc wide enough that's going to cross through side CB. And again, we've extended it so that we have a little bit more room for error. So we're going to go ahead, make the arc. So it does cross through the side of 2 points. It crosses through it here and way up at the top, just barely, but it still works. Now, from that point, we're going to make sure our compass is at least halfway bigger than the arc. We're going to go ahead and put our compass point where the arc and the side intersect. We're going to make 1 arc up top. Then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing from the other intersection right here. And you can see where our 2 arcs intersect up top here, basically right about the point A. So we're going to go ahead and draw this in. So we have our first altitude. So again, that meets it at a right angle. Okay. Now, the one thing that I might suggest is, again, we talked about this in other lessons. You're going to have a lot of excess. So if you can get rid of some of it, get rid of some of it. So we know we've already taken care of side CB here. So I'm going to get rid of all the extra junk that's here just to clean this up as much as I possibly can. Again, given the fact that we have a lot of different things that we're going to be putting in these drawings. So that takes care of the altitude from angle A going to side CB. We're going to repeat the same process with the other 2 angles and their opposing sides. So let's take a look here. From angle B, we're going to make the altitude that forms with side AC. So we're going to go ahead first, make that big arc. So you notice it didn't end up being as wide, but that's okay, because still swinging from B, I have 2 intercepting places. Okay, so I'm still in good shape. It's not very wide, but it works. We're going to go ahead, put our compass where the side and the arc intersected. Make arc number 1. And then do the same thing from the other intersection. And make arc number 2. Now you notice when I did that, I didn't get the arcs to intercept each other. So I'm going to go back to the first one. I'm just going to trace back over it. And there we go. Now I've got it there. So my interception is right here and right here. I'm going to go ahead and draw a straight line through that to angle B. So right there, that's perpendicular. So right now I have 2 orthocenters. Those 2 orthocenters, I have 2 altitudes. They cross very closely to each other towards the top corner here at C, which means when I get this third altitude, it should go from C down to be perpendicular to side AB. It should also cross through that point up towards the top of the triangle. So let's go ahead and create our third perpendicular line. So we're going from C to be perpendicular to AB. So we're going to go ahead, take our compass, there we go. So you can see our 2 points of intersection here. Here's the arc in the side AB. Here's the arc in the side AB. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and make our 2 arcs. Now again, you start seeing here, we got a lot of lines and a lot of arcs going in a lot of similar spots. So here's where the first arc intercepted. Intercepts, if you look very closely here, intercepts up top here through C. So we're going to go ahead and draw that. So there's my third perpendicular line. And if you look, we get them all to cross at the same point. Right there, that is your orthocenter. So I would say out of all the constructions you've done so far, this one might be the messiest because there are more arcs and more lines. Again, do one thing at a time and take your time with it. That is how you're going to find an orthocenter in an acute triangle. The obtuse triangle is the same type of steps. The only difference is it's going to be outside the triangle. So whenever you do get that crossing point, it is going to be somewhere out in the empty space. If you have a right triangle, you would follow the same steps, except you're going to find that it will be located on the triangle. So once again, finding a regular perpendicular line, you're doing that 3 times, starting from one of your angles, perpendicular to the opposing side. Do it for all 3 of these as carefully as you can, and then you'll be able to locate and construct the orthocenter of a triangle.